So students, we are learning about circular queue. So this is the circular queue that has been declared in the program. Okay, items of size 5. Initially your front end ray has been set equal to -1. So let's initialize that. So here your front end ray has been set equal to -1. Okay. Then we start with your main function. So in the main function, first we call the dequeue function. Okay, the dequeue should fail because nothing is there in your queue. You should not be able to delete anything from the empty queue. So let's see how we write a logic so that we get a error message. When you call the dequeue function, the dequeue function is here. Okay, so we have declared one local variable here called element. Then inside this if statement, I have written inside the condition for the if, we call one function called as isEmpty. IsEmpty function will be checking whether your queue is empty or not. Okay. If your queue is empty, that means the value of front will be equal to -1. Otherwise, it will not be equal to -1. So we are going to check for that inside this function. Okay. When we call the isEmpty function, this is your isEmpty function. So here we are checking whether the value of front is equal to -1. If it is equal to value is equal to -1, then we are returning the value equal to 1. Else we are returning the value equal to 0. Now as you can see here in this code here that I've highlighted, there's no else statement. Okay, so basically this could have been also written something like this. We could have written here if, okay, this thing, this is a shorter way of writing, okay, what I had written previously. This is the longer way which I'm showing you right now. You would have written here else like this. You would have written if this condition is true, then return 1, else you are returning 0. So instead of writing so many lines of code, the advanced way of writing, okay, would be like something like this that I had written previously. Okay, so this would be the advanced way of writing. If this condition is true, then we are returning 1. Okay, otherwise we are executing this line. If this condition is false, okay, which condition? This condition. If this condition is false, we don't execute this, but we execute this. So if it is true, is this part. Okay, if it is true, then is this part. If it is false, then we check this condition that it is false and we execute this part. Okay, we do not execute this. Okay, so I'm just making myself clear how this works. So now when we check this condition, we know that value of front is equal to -1. So this condition is true. When this condition is true, we are returning the value 1. Okay, so this 1 is returned, okay, to where? To this statement here. We had called this isEmpty function here. Okay, so that value 1 will be returned here to the if condition. Okay, so this will be replaced by 1, so something like this. Okay, because we are returning this value here 1, this 1. Okay, so that isEmpty will be actually replaced by 1. So if if 1, that means this stands for that means the condition is true. Okay, so if the value that is returned by isEmpty is 1, that means this condition of if is true. Okay, then what we will do, we will print this message q is empty. Okay, and then we return a value -1, just to, because there has to be some value that has to be returned from here. Instead of -1, you could have said return null also, you could have said. Okay, so you could have written some other value also, just to, because we have to return some value, other we will get a error. Because here we have mentioned in the dequeue that the return type of dequeue will be equal to -1. Okay, so in this case, this condition is true. Okay, the queue is empty, therefore we will print this message queue is empty, and then we will return from this function, and these rest of the statements will not be executed. Clear? Okay, so in the next statement here, after dequeue, we are calling the enqueue function. And in the NQ function, we are passing the value 1. So this is the value that should be inserted into the Q. Okay, that should be NQ'd into the Q. When I call the NQ function, this is the NQ function. So I check for this condition whether the queue is full. If the queue is full, I cannot do any more insertions. Okay, I cannot NQ more elements. When I check for this condition, again there is one more function. This is a function now, is full function. So to check whether the queue is full, I call this function is full. Okay, so is full function has been declared here. This is the is full function. So when I call this function, here control gets transferred to the useful function. So this is the function. Okay, so these are the various conditions due to which the queue can be declared as full. Okay, so it is specified in parentheses, as you can see. This is one condition. Okay, I'll just highlight it here. For some reason both the parentheses are getting highlighted. Actually this parenthesis should not get highlighted. Okay, and this is the second condition. So if any one of these two conditions is true, okay, then what we will say, we will return 1. So if this thing is true, then we return 1. Only this is executed, return 1, and we go back, okay, to where this function was called. If this condition is false, then we do not execute this line, but we execute this, return 0. Okay, similar to your isEmpty function. Here now you will check for this condition. If it is full, then either front will be equal to rare plus 1, or this stands for or. You must have already learnt it in C programming. Or we are checking for this condition. What is that condition? Front will be equal to 0 and the value of rare will be equal to size minus 1. Okay, so if either one of these conditions is true, okay, because it is or, it is either. Okay, so we will return the value equal to 1. Otherwise, we say we will return the value equal to 0. Okay, so let's check this condition quickly. When you check here, obviously in the diagram you can make out that it is not full. Okay, you can see in this diagram it is not full. So what is the value of front and rear? Value of front and rear is equal to -1. Check here quickly. Is -1 here? When you replace this with the values -1, this is false. Also when you check this is also false. Okay, front is not equal to 0 because front is -1, and when this condition is false, this is AND condition. So this has to be true and this will be then checked. Okay, so since this is only false, -1 is not equal to 0, no need for checking for this. Okay, so when this condition is false, what value we will return? We will return the value equal to 0. So from this is full condition, we are returning the value equal to 0. So this 0 is sent here. The function was called here. We are sending value here equal to 0. Okay, so if it, when you send the value here equal to 0, okay, since that means the queue is not full. Okay, so if the queue is not full, we do not execute the if part, but we execute the else part. Okay, so that is the way your function here works. So now we will execute the else part. So the else part, now we check whether the value of front is equal to -1. When you check, you know, yes, value of front is equal to -1. So what we do? We set the value of front equal to 0. So from -1 we make value of front equal to 0. Okay, so front is become equal to 0 due to this line. In the next statement, I want rear also to become equal to 0. Okay, so what we do, as you can see here, this is the programming to make rear equal to 0. So what is that? Rear, what is the value of rear? -1. Okay, so -1 plus 1, what is the value? 0. -1, I'll just write it for you. -1 plus 1. Okay, value of it is 0. See, Okay, it automatically becomes, you can see, this is what I had typed, -1, okay, -1 plus 1, answer is 0. Okay, that what we are doing, mod size. Okay, so modulus operator, what the modulus operator does, it finds the remainder of the division. So what is the value of size we have declared? Value of size that we have declared is 5. What we are going to do, this thing, -1 plus 1 mod 5. Okay, so this value mod 5. Can you divide 0 by 5? What you will get the remainder? What's the remainder of dividing 0 by 5? Remainder of dividing 0 by 5 will be 0 only. Okay, so that's here. Where will come to 0. Is it okay? Everyone has understood how this works, this formula here? Let me know in the chat right now. -1 plus 1 equal to 0. Everyone, all 55 of you. Is it okay? Just let me know quickly. You all understood that line of programming? Anyone who wants me to tell it again? Okay, let's continue then. Okay. Okay. So now you have got this rear equal to 0, therefore rear is coming here. Okay, so both front and rear are that index 0 of your array. Okay, now we want to store the value. What was the value we had sent from the main function? If you remember, we had sent this value 1. Okay, this 1 is stored in your enqueue function. In which variable? It is stored in this variable element. Okay, 1 that is sent from the main function is stored in this variable element. We need to store that in your array. So this element value, which is 1 actually, is stored in your array here. Okay, where it is stored in your array? It is stored where rear is present. So rear is at index 0. The element that you are inserting will be stored at the index 0 in your items array. So this will become 1. Okay, is it okay? Understood? So once you do that, you can print one message like this, that you have inserted which element. So you inserted 1. That way the message will get printed, and then you will exit from this enqueue function. Okay. So I'm just keeping this function open. Anyone has not understood any line, please let me know. Yeah, Ashraf, I'll come to this later, okay? I'll come to your question later. Why we cannot do it like that? Okay, everyone is clear? Okay, let me continue because we have lost time. So next we are enqueuing 2. Okay, as you can see in your queue, this diagram here, the queue is still not full. Okay, so we can still keep inserting the elements. So now when I call the enqueue function again, which is the value I'm inserting? 2. Okay, I'm inserting the value as 2. Then I call the enqueue function. Okay, now I'll do it directly. Okay, when I check the isFull function, obviously you can see that your queue is not full. Okay, so your isFull function, this condition will be again false. Okay, you can check for that. Value of front is not equal to rear plus 1 because value of front and rear is both 0. Okay, so this condition is false, it's not true, and this condition also is false. You can check for that. Okay, value of front is 0, that is true, value of front is 0, but and what should be the value of rear? Value of rear should be equal to size minus 1, but value of rear is also 0, it's not equal to size minus 1. This part is false, this part is false, so therefore this entire condition fails. So therefore what value we will return? Shall we return 1 or shall we return 0? Can you tell me in the chat? Are we returning 1 or 0? We're returning 1. If this condition is false, which value we are returning? We are returning 0. Correct. So we are returning 0. So when we return this 0 here, okay, that 0 comes here to the if statement. Since it's 0, that means if this condition is false, so this part is not executed. We go to the else part. Okay. In the else part, we check whether the value of front is -1. No, it is not -1. So we come here. Okay. So now value of rear here is 0. Okay. Value of rear is 0. So 0 plus 1. What is the answer? 1. 1 mod size. Okay. What answer you will get? 1 mod size. 1 mod size. What is the answer? Value of size is 5. 1 divided by 5. What is the remainder? 1. Correct. So value of rear will be equal to now 1. Okay. Value of rear now will be equal to 1. So front will remain here, rear will come here. And now you will insert this element that you were trying to insert into that position. So 2 will get inserted here. Okay. That is how your insertion will happen. Okay. Let's do this remaining NQs a bit faster now. Okay. So you all have got it, right? How it works. So now when I try to NQ3, okay, when I try to insert this element 3, this condition here will be false. Okay, it will be false. So you go to the else part. In the else part, when you check for the value of front, it is again false. So you will come here and do this condition. Okay, what is the rear value? Value of rear is 1. Okay, so 1 plus 1, 2. 2 mod size. So value of rear will become equal to now 2. Okay, the value of rear will become equal to 2, and the element that you were trying to insert was what? You were trying to insert is 3. So 3 will get inserted here. Okay, that is how it will work. As you can see, we are still following the concept of a queue. Okay, while insertion we are always using the rear pointer. I told you insertion is done at the rear and deletion is done at the front. Okay. So once we do the insertion, we go to the next. Now we will try to insert 4. Okay. When you try to insert 4, again when you check for this condition, is it full? No, your queue is still not full. There is still place here. Okay. So this will be false. So you will execute the else part. In the else part, there is this if statement will be false. It's not true. So you will do this. Okay. Rear statement. In the rear statement, rear plus 1, rear is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 divided by size. What is the remainder? Again you will get as 3 only. So you will come here. Okay. In the next step, you will insert the element. So the element that will get inserted is 4. Okay. So once you insert, you will print this message that you have inserted that element, and you will exit the NQ. Now when you try to insert the 5th element, same thing will happen. Okay, you will check for that, increment rear, and you will insert 5. Okay, you can check that here. I just keep it open for you. You can just trace and let me know if you feel what I have done is correct or not. Okay, so your previous value of rear was 3. So here when you do 3 plus 1, you will get 4. 4 divided by 5, remainder is 4 only. Okay, so rear comes here, and then you insert your element 5 there. Okay, so you insert your element 5. Now you can see visually in your diagram that your queue is full. So if I try to insert again element, it should fail. Okay, it should fail. Let's check for that. Now when I try to NQ the 6th element, we should get a queue full message. Let's check that. Now I'm calling the function for the 6th time. I'm trying to insert 6. Now I call this isFull function. So when I go to the isFull, now check for this condition. Value of front is 0. Okay. Is it equal to rear plus 1? No, this is false. Okay. This is not true. Rear plus 1 means rear is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5 and front is 0. So 0 is not equal to 5. This is false. Now check for the second part, this part, whether it is true. Is front equal to 0? Yes, front is equal to 0. Okay. Is ray equal to size minus 1? Size minus 1 is size value is 5. Okay. So size minus 1 is 4. Is ray also 4? Yes, ray is 4. Size minus 1 is also 4. So therefore this condition is true. Okay. So since this condition is true, one of these two conditions have to be true. Okay. Because of the or statement here. So since one of these conditions is true, what we are sending the value now as 1. Okay. We are sending the value as 1. So this 1 comes here to the if. Okay. So since 1 comes here, that means this condition is true. The if condition is true. We print the message Q is full. Okay. That is the way it will work. Once we print that Q is full, we don't execute the else part. Okay. We don't execute the else part and we exit the function. So your display function will display all the values from your front to rear. So this is your display function. Okay. Your queue is not empty. It will check whether your queue is empty. If queue is empty, then nothing to display. Okay, so it will print one message that there is empty queue. Otherwise, it will go to the else part and it will display these messages, the value of front. It will print this all the items in the queue from starting from front. Okay, all the elements starting from front till value of I is not equal to rear. Okay, so it will display all the values. Now just check this condition, what we are doing here. Okay, when we are incrementing I, we are not incrementing I by saying I plus plus. Okay, just think of this, why we are doing it like this. Just think about this, why you think it must be done like this. Okay. I will ask you at the end of the class why we are not doing I plus plus here and why we are doing it like this. Just think about it. Okay. So we are basically going to display these values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starting from front and ending at rear. Those conditions are specified here. Starting at front, we stop at the rear. But when we increment I, we don't say I plus plus. We have put this condition. If you remember, this condition is similar to this condition of rare. Okay, it's similar, same way. Instead of rare word, we are having I. Why you think we are doing like that? Just think about it. If you have understood the examples that I have done at the beginning of this class on the previous lecture, you will know why it is happening like that. Okay. Otherwise, I will tell you anyways. So next, after display, we call the dequeue function. Now dequeue will delete the element which is present at the front. The front is present at index 0 and the element is 1. Okay, so 1 will get deleted when I call the dequeue function. So let's see how the dequeue works. So when I call the dequeue function, first of all I will check whether the queue is empty or not using this if statement. As you can see in the diagram, actually the queue is not empty. Okay, so let's check for it. So I call this is empty function. Okay, when I call this is empty function, if the queue is empty, value of front has to be equal to minus 1. But here value of front is 0, is not equal to minus 1. Okay, so therefore we don't return 1, but we return the value 0. Since this condition is false, we return the value 0. When we return the value here as 0, the if part is not executed, but the else part is executed. Okay. So when we come here to the else part, this is your entire else part now here. Okay. Within this else statement, we are having this divided like this. Okay, I'll just put it on a new line for you. So this is the entire else. Okay, this is the entire else. Within that else, again there is if else. Okay, within this else. So if this if is false, okay, then we come to this else part. Now in this else part, again there is if else. Okay. So first, before we do that if else, what we do? Wherever front is present, front is there at what index? 0. So from that we extract that element. Okay. The element is 1. So this 1 I store it in this variable element. Okay. So I store that variable in this element 1. And then once I've done that, okay, so when I, like I told you, remember, when I delete, actually this 1 remains because it's an array. Actually the value remains in that. Okay, but for your understanding, to understand it better, I remove it from this diagram. Okay, but actually it is not gone anywhere. Just remember that what I told you. Okay, so due to this line here, the value from this array 1 is stored in the element. In visually, I'm just removing it from here to show that it has got removed from the queue. Okay, but in reality, it will be there in the array. It does not go anywhere. Okay. Next, now what I need to do, when I deleted this element, front should go to the index 1. Okay, so for that I'm having these various conditions. So first I check whether value of front is equal to rare. When I check, no, it is not true. Value of front is not equal to rare. So I go to the else part. Okay, and the else part, again I'm having this formula to move the value, the pointer front on the variable front. Okay, and this is the same formula that I've come across before. Okay, so what it will do, it will take the value of front, which is in this case is 0. So it will say 0 plus 1, okay, which is 1 mod size. So what is the remainder? 1. So therefore your front will go to the index 1. So f will move from here to index 1. Okay, so once this else part has been done, you come to this printf statement. Okay, and you had extracted that element which was there in the beginning, which was 1, and you stored in this variable element. Okay, so you print that here, print that, and then you can also return that value back to the main function if you want. Okay, and then you can work with that value if you want in the main function. So I'm returning that value 1 back to the main function after printing. So when I come to the main function, okay, this was where I called the dequeue. The next line, again I will display all the values. Okay, so now the values that will be displayed is starting from front. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5 will be displayed. All the values starting from front and ending at red. Okay, after that, again I call the enqueue function. Okay, again I call the enqueue function. So I will try to insert now 7. Okay, now before I show you how the enqueue function works, what will happen, where 7 will go? Can you type the answer in the chat box looking at this diagram? Where will 7 get inserted, at what index? Where will 7 go? What index? It will go in index 0. And where will rare be present? Which index rare will be present? Rare also will be present at 0. Okay, so now this has to happen. This is what we know has to happen. The code has to do it for us. Okay, let's see how the code will do it for us. So now we are trying to insert 7. So I go back here to the enqueue function. Okay, I check whether it is full. Okay, when you can see in the diagram it's not full, but we check in our code. Okay, to be sure. So I go to this is full function here. Check for this value. Value of front is 1. Value of rear is 4. This part is false. This is false. Okay. Now check for the other part. For the other part, if you just check this first part is enough. Is front equal to 0? No, front is not equal to 0. So it fails. Okay, this fails. So therefore you are going to return the value as 0. That means it tells you that queue is not full. If queue was full, you would have sent the value as 1. Okay, since queue is not full, you are sending the value as 0. So therefore, if condition fails, you come to the else condition. Okay, in the else condition, again you are having a if statement here. Is front equal to -1? No, front is equal to 1. So this condition fails, so nothing you execute here. Okay, you come here. Okay, now you will understand why we are having this. Okay, this formula here to increment rear. The value of rear here is now what? 4. Okay. 4 plus 1, 5. 5 divided by 5. What is the remainder? 5 divided by 5. What is the remainder? You can type in the chat box. 5 divided by 5. Remainder? Hidden, is it 1? 5 divided by 5. Remainder? Remainder I am asking, not quotient. Mod always looks at quotient. No, sorry. Mod always looks at remainder, not quotient. Okay. So the the answer of that will be 0. The answer of this operation is 0. So rear 4 plus 1. Okay. So this becomes 5. Mod size value is also 5. When you find the remainder of that, what it is? 0. So now what will happen to rear? Rear will shift from this index 4 come to 0. Okay. Now if you were doing here, instead of doing this formula, you were doing this like our previous program, you were doing rear plus plus. What would have happened? What would have happened? From here, rear was present here, right? Rear was present here. If you do rear plus plus, did you have index 5? No, you didn't have index 5. Okay, so that was the difficulty of the previous program. What we do, in order to make it a circular cube, I need to have that formula which will make sure that rear comes back from the last index back to the first. That formula that I used make sure that the rear will come back from the last, or in that, for that matter, front also will come back from the last index back to the first. Okay, this formula takes care of that. Clear? So once you do that, you insert that element. The element that you were trying to store was 7. So 7 you can store here. Is it okay? And then you can print that the element that you inserted was 7. So I enqueued 7. Okay. So then I display all these values. So again, you start displaying from front. So first you will display 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last value that you will display is 7. That's why in the display function also, okay, we are having this formula. So first you will display 2, okay, then you will display 3, then you will display 4, then you will display 5. So when you reach at the end, you have to come back here at the starting because your rear is here. Okay, so therefore you are having this formula here. So it will come back to the starting and display 7. After displaying 7, the condition will fail. Okay, that's why here also we are having the formula. Okay, everywhere to increment we have to use this formula in a circular cube. Okay, so after displaying those values here, you will try to enqueue again, try to insert again. So what will happen? As you can see, the queue is full. Okay, so you should get that through your code. So let's check. Now when I try to enqueue it, insert it here, okay, I should get the queue full condition. So when I check this, okay, front, what is value of front? Value of front is 1. What is value of rear? Value of rear is 0. Is this condition true? Yes, this part is true. Value of front is 1. Value of this also is 0 plus 1 is also equal to 1. So this part is true. That means your queue is full. So if your queue is full, you have to return the value as 1. When you return this value as 1 here, okay, to the enqueue function. So that means this if condition will be triggered, it is true, and you will print this message as queue full. So if is executed, the else part is not executed. Okay, that is how your program works. And then you stop with the program. okay? Is it okay?